What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over basically what everyone wants to know. Is Lucid going to continue this run or not? So I'm going to go over everything else that you need to know, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with this upcoming week, there's only one data point to really watch for, and that is retail sales. Forecast is a negative 0.2, so very low expectations, so a very good opportunity for a nice beat. As I've stated in the past, consumers have been those pillars in the economy that's kind of prevented a recession, especially over the last several years. Consumers have been out there spending the money, making the money, stuff like that. So that is going to be one key data point that a lot of people do watch for. Aside from that, though, there is a hell of a lot of Fed speakers. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every single day there is at least one Fed speaker. You can kind of see based on this as well, just a lot of hot topics. So no doubtably, a lot of this is going to be linked to interest rates. So right now, and one thing that really did drive the market higher last week was optimism associated to back-to-back rate cuts. So for the September 18th meeting, now there is a 90.3% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut, and then even following that for the November 7th meeting there is a 56.3% likelihood of a cut. So that's what in reality has been really fueling the broader market. In Lucid's case, you do have some specific interviews and stuff like that, some pretty nice catalysts that also did really propel Lucid higher as a byproduct. So ultimately, it's going to be a very interesting week, especially considering you do also see the fear and greed index at 56. So people's appetite for risk is definitely there. So that could really propel a lot of stocks even further. In Lucid's case, the only thing that they do have planned is this. So just at the Legacy West studio, Gravity showcasing and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be clearly the next big catalyst for Lucid, as well as Hyundai partnership and many other things. But I think a lot of that will just have to wait up until their earnings. So that's slated for August the 5th. So nothing this week, unfortunately. So when it comes down to Lucid, there is going to be a certain level of profit taking. So Monday is going to be quite a volatile day because first thing, you're going to have market makers no doubtably covering these options that did expire in the money. So as you can kind of see, 9,000 at that $3 strike price, 19,000 at the 350, and then 5,000 at that 4. So this is pretty much what a gamma squeeze, a small one, would kind of look like. So market makers being forced to buy stock, and that would be on the open market and causing the stock price to go up. And then this is where, in theory, if there's other catalysts that do come out at the same time, the stock price goes up. Shorts then feel kind of the pressure to return some shares and stuff like that. This upcoming week, though, so the July 19th chain is a monthly chain. So in essence, this is where you do see a lot more volume. So if Lucid is able to close above that $4 strike price by July the 19th close, then this is where things could get very interesting. So you're going to have some buying first thing. At the same time, you're also going to have some selling, because that's what happens. Whenever any stock runs up a significant amount, you're going to have profit taking. That's what happens time and time again. So it's going to be a very volatile Monday, needless to say. And plus, on a side note, shorts are going to be ready to pounce. Even though Lucid did go up 25% on Friday, shorts still did increase 330,000 shares. 27.83% are the free floats being shorted, works out to be 246.42 million shares. Overall are being shorted. Utilization 93.1, cost to borrow average is 23.13, and then short score is 94.78. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. So based on all of these metrics right here, Lucid is a squeeze play. The only thing that it's often enough missed out on is a surprise catalyst. And there's, I think, a lot of speculation on many different things that Lucid could come out with that could really prompt a squeeze. And they're all fairly big catalysts, such as Gravity and, like I said, future partnerships. So anticipate regardless shorts to be very active this week, even more so if it comes to a lot of the Fed speakers kind of breaking the hopium associated to back-to-back rate cuts. Then this is where shorts will probably start to pounce once again. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Looking at the delta for this upcoming week's chain for the options, and I like to bring up options even though it is just merely a sentiment, it doesn't necessarily move the stock price. It shows what bigger money is really feeling where Lucid is going to go. And based on this, it looks like there is roughly between that $3.50 and $4 range. That's where it is anticipated. You can always look at the delta. This does represent kind of the percentage of the likelihood that it's going to be within that range. So it does show a 86 or let's say 87% likelihood of it being at 350 or above 350, and then a 67% likelihood of it being above 4. So it is fair to assume that the market does feel that it is going to be between that 350 and 4 by the end of this Friday. So more of a pullback. Of course, Lucid could change that by having another random interview, and so far nothing like that is really planned for this week. So regardless, it is going to be a very volatile week, but I think runs like this shows that the company is still alive. So just kind of anticipate that. All in all, these are some of the strong support and resistance points. So right now resistance is $4.56. That's the first level, $4.86, and then right here the third one is going to be $5.41. So there's a pretty big jump between the second and the third. So if it is able to get above that $4.86, then this is where you could see easily that $5 range. On the flip side, you do have the first one right here is at $3.71. So this is where you could see a lot of volatility and more of a pullback associated to that. And then the second one right here is going to be $3.16 and then $2.86. So very wide gaps, and clearly based on this, it is more favored for the downside. And that's just because Lucid did go up very, very fast. And every video I do bring up, I don't know if people catch on, but I bring up whether it's institutions causing it to go up, algorithmic trading, or just shorts, because algorithmic trading has been very active this week, especially with optimism, a lot of good data points, CPI. So AI is being told to buy a lot of stocks for it to go higher. That is very bad for stocks somewhat. It's very entertaining, but it doesn't give good support levels. So I don't know again if people have caught on to when I bring that up or not, but this is why you do see, based on the support and resistance points, more downside somewhat anticipated. So Lucid could definitely continue this positive momentum, but I feel like the Fed speakers do need to say the right things to really verify and kind of validate that there will be 2 rate cuts back to back in 2024. As well, Lucid could really help by putting out some pieces of news. So it's right now just give and take. It's very hard to really justify it being at these prices without some confirmed catalyst, because as I've stated, like in Peter's recent interview, he kind of alludes to partnerships, and so he has this weird smirk, so you can kind of tell that he knows something. Faisal's interview, he does say that they are going to far exceed their production or deliveries. I can't remember exactly what they use. I think it's deliveries, but he said that they're ultimately going to far exceed their year-end goals. So there's a lot of good things that investors can piece together as catalysts, but there has been a good level of buying coming from institutions as of late. So these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you do see a couple big ones. So 1 million, 6.4 million, and then first thing 1.35 million. So institutions have stepped up, which is a nice change of events. So at least based on this one day, that 25% day, a lot of that was institutions. So I think all in all, it is going to be a very volatile week. And I do feel that there will be a run probably to that 480 range, but regrettably, it will probably get dragged back down. to maybe the kind of 380 range. That's just my own opinion, of course, not a financial advisor, but I think just based on this run, it's laid the good foundation for a nice run leading into their Q2 earnings. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Give me your price prediction for Lucid by the end of this week in the comments below. Do you think it's going to be 5, 6? What do you guys think? Or do you think it's going to be 3, 4? What's your viewpoint? It's honestly, I'm very interested to see people's predictions based on that, because it could go any direction. And I think right now a lot of people as well are going to be looking at the S&P's technicals to really justify if it's going to go up. Similar to what happened when it hit that 5,500 range, kind of spooked the market somewhat, so it kind of caused a sell-off. So it's going to be a very interesting time. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.